Hi, I'm Joy.
I'm Will.
And together we are
Primary Tenant Pod.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby.
So, that jingle was our attempt at branding.
We've been thinking about it a lot lately, you know?
Yes. Really, like, you need something to just grab people, hook people in.
Exactly. Like, you know, jingles, colors, logos.
Names.
Names.
Yeah, but not for us. We have a name.
We do have a name.
But for PWHL Vancouver, they don't have a name.
They don't have a name.
But people have been thinking of names.
Talking about names.
Yeah, discussing them at great length.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what we're here to do today, actually.
To talk about names.
For the team. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we sourced them from, like, across the internet, basically names that we're going to be discussing today.
Yeah, also our own brains.
Yes,
some of them.
yes. But, like, names we hate, names that are kind of mid, names that we love.
Yeah. Names that I really want to happen, even though I know that they won't.
Yeah, exactly. And so we don't want to be too controversial, if you have a favorite name that we don't like as much, this is the way of it. It's just the way things go. You're not going to love every name.
Exactly.
The team is going to get a name, and then no matter what people think of it, eventually in 50 years, it's just going to be as natural as any other team name.
Exactly, yeah. Were people in love with the Maple Leafs back in the day? Maybe not, but, time has passed. People don't even remember that anymore.
Yeah, I think trying to go after the Maple Leafs is really funny.
Leafs. I'm sure there were some complaints.
Yeah. There must have been.
But thinking about the PWHL, the current names that happened, I know when the Ottawa Charge was announced, a lot of people did not like that name at all.
No.
The name in conjunction with the logo. And I was kind of one of those people. I was like, I was a fan of the team already, so I was already kind of predisposed to liking it, but I was kind of like, it's kind of mid. But now I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the identity of the team, and I absolutely am in love with the Ottawa Charge. Exactly. 1, 2, 3, charge.
Exactly. Yeah.
All that stuff. So I think, the fans really rallied around it. The team did, and I think now the Ottawa Charge is the Ottawa Charge.
So it's like, no matter how hideous the Vancouver name ends up being, we're going to love it anyway.
Exactly. Even if at first, blush, we really don't like it. It's like, what is that?
You know what? We're making ourselves too sad.
Oh,
we should have high standards.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying, even if we're
I know.
disappointed at first, glory may result in the end anyway. And you know what?
Right.
Yeah. If you win a championship with a name, then you will love it forever. I am getting kind of hubristic. So
you're kind of swinging on the opposite pendulum. You've gone from we're going to have the shittiest name ever, we have to love it, to like, we're going to win championships. We're going to have we can settle in the middle. Let's just talk about a few names now.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people have been talking about a lot of different name options. But yeah, there were a few more common ones that we've kind of seen tossed around, some real crowd favorites, it would seem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of them is one of the names that I hate the most. And I think I actually hate it the most because I've seen it so much. Every time I see it, I get more and more annoyed.
Do you want to talk about that one first?
Do you know which one it is?
Of course I know which one it is. I've been hearing you rant about it for weeks.
Which one is it?
It's the Valkyries.
The Vancouver Valkyries.
Okay, you talk about it.
Okay, I think point number one is it is a perfectly fine name on its own. It starts with a V. I know why people like it. It's women from mythology and all that kind of thing. It has basically good connotations, I suppose, in that sense for a women's sports team. But so many people don't seem to clock that there is already another team on the West Coast, a women's sports team from a really popular league actually, called the Valkyries, the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever heard of the WNBA?
Yeah.
Well, now you have.
Yeah, literally an expansion team this year.
Yeah.
The Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, PWHL Vancouver is not going to be the Valkyries. There's already a team called the Valkyries. They're playing right now in their very first year.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Honestly, I think even if we were stupid enough to do it, that is one name I'll be heavily disappointed if we chose.
Yeah.
Just because it would feel like we would be infringing on a brand.
100%.
Yeah, we wouldn't be trying to create our own identity. We'd just be kind of like riding on the WNBA's coattails, going like, "Oh, can we steal your name?" Like, I don't like it.
We're not going to do it because of that.
Yeah.
I think I've also seen some people, when I've pointed this out, hey, there's already a team called that. Some people are like, well, there are two, Jets out there, in the New York Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, stuff like that. There are other, leagues and teams that share names.
But it's just different. It's like, okay, they're geographically farther apart.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got their names at different times, as far as I'm aware, and it's just not the same thing. Both new teams, and you really get the same name. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and also the women's sports ecosystem is so much smaller than the men's. there's a lot of overlap in fandom as well in women's sports. You know, if I'm a fan of the PWHL, I'm also becoming a fan of the WNBA.
Yeah,
soccer, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I made that joke, but if you don't know, but everyone who watches this probably knows what the WNBA. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but like it just seems like there's women's sports is a much smaller circle.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't understand why you would do that. It's a completely different time, a different context. We're not reusing the Golden State Valkyries name.
No.
Honestly, and in the end, it's not that cool. I mean, it is a cool name.
I was going to say, I really like the name for the Golden State Valkyries.
Yeah. It is alliterative for Vancouver, and it would have been cool, maybe-ish, but it's not going to happen. We just have to let it go. And I think keeping talking about it every single time I see it, I just get more and more pissed off.
So no Valkyries, unfortunately.
No Valkyries.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about we talk about some other names that we really don't like? I'm going to start with a group of names, and it's names related to the Vancouver Canucks. When people say, you should be the Lady Canucks, or the Canuckettes, or,
the Janes.
The Janes for Janie Canuck, or, the Orcas. It makes me... I want to do violent things to Rogers Arena. So that's not the vibe I want to have. I don't want our team to feel like an appendage of the men's team.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that name, those kind of names would never actually end up attached to our team. But even just thinking about it, even when people casually sling them around, I just know it's a weird joke and I don't like it. Yeah, so immediately also those names also out the window.
I feel like a lot of people who suggest those names, they're not really serious about them, and they're not serious about the team.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a joke, and I hate that.
Yeah, it's like quit doing that.
Yeah, like of course there are a few joke names that I think are funny, but not when they're just immediately saying like, oh yeah, well the Lady Canucks.
Yeah, it's just dismissive. It's really low hanging fruit, just kind of bland, plain misogyny. Not into it.
Yeah.
Something else. Okay, one thing is I do like the Orcas.
I know.
If only the Canucks had a freaking different logo.
I would love to be the Orcas, man.
Nothing about the name Canuck suggests an animal at all. It just has to be an orca.
We just ended up with an orca logo in the 2000s.
Exactly, and now one of a great name that I would honestly love for a new team is Tainted.
Yeah.
Sorry, Finn.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the Vancouver Orcas. Yeah, I would honestly. It is a little bit awkward to say with the R's, but
that's too nitpicky.
I know.
That's too nitpicky.
Well, we're probably not going to do it anyway, but it would be fun. And along the coastal line, kind of names that I don't really like that much. It's names like Coast and Rain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like. You can't feel what I'm...
Like the Vancouver Fog. Actually, no. Putting a pin in that. Yeah.
We'll talk about that one later.
Yes.
Yeah, but like the Coast and Rain, they're so generic.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly it.
I think it could work for Seattle as well. Maybe Coast, not as much. People argue over whether Seattle is coastal. Anyway. But I think you're right. It's just it could be anywhere in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or even anywhere, like on any coast.
I think, honestly, that is kind of a problem that we in Seattle actually have, though, is because we are so geographically similar. And
we basically have the same weather.
Yeah, like a lot of the references that you could apply to one or the other are basically... Yeah. It's the same, basically, except Vancouver does have mountain vistas all around. I don't think Seattle has that.
But they do have beautiful mountains in the actual state.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's kind of like a question. We kind of share all the branding options, I guess.
Yeah. We even share the desert in the east.
We do share a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. Do we share the Columbia River?
We do. We share the Columbia River.
There's a little bit of the Columbia in BC, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we share a lot, basically. So I think dividing those branding options up is going to be interesting. Even the colors.
I know.
Blue and green, they're very sort of like, they're both Pacific Northwest colors. We ended up with blue. Seattle ended up with green.
Yeah. So could have been the other way around, and it would have made just as much sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So really, all the names we're discussing could also be Seattle options as well. Who knows down the line?
Yeah. Seattle Valkyries. Sorry. Yeah, but like also I will say, people don't say Vancouver coast. It's not really a thing here. We don't talk about Vancouver's coast. We don't really have one.
Yeah.
You think about a coast, you think you're gonna be crashing waves, beaches, rocks, and stuff.
Yeah, you will think of like the west side of Vancouver Island.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Vancouver, we have beaches here in the city. But it's not a coast. You know, no. It's some city beaches.
Like much as I said, people argue whether people also argue over whether Vancouver is on the coast. So. I don't know. You're right. It just doesn't really work that well.
Yeah, it's kind of, Yeah, and then the same with Vancouver Rain. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of rain here. Do you really want to name a team after that, though?
You know what it would just make me think of? It would just make me think of climate change and our changing precipitation patterns, and that would be very sad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in like 50 years, be like, yeah, kids, they're called the rain. It used to rain a lot. We're digging in the sand for our wells now, but there used to be a glacier up there.
Stop making me sad. Sorry. But no, you're right. That is the kind of connotation that name brings up for me.
Yeah, like people complain about the rain. People love the rain.
Yeah.
Also, the search engine optimization issues.
Would suck. You're right.
It would be such a problem. Vancouver rain. You Google that. Well, you get precipitation reports.
Yeah. Like Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so much. There's same with the coast.
Yeah.
Vancouver coast. You're gonna be reading about a bunch of beaches or something.
Yeah.
There's nothing that really is unique about it. I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not in love with it. There's just nothing unique about it.
Although they are fine names. Like, it wouldn't be the worst, but
yeah.
I wouldn't be like, yay, that's us, we're so unique and special.
Yeah. Well, like, if we ended up being, like, the Vancouver coast, I do prefer the rain to the coast, I have to say.
Yeah.
If we ended up the Vancouver coast, I guess I would get used to it after a while, like we said at the beginning of the episode, but...
Yeah,
I
understand.
It just doesn't speak to me, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels fake, because we don't have a coast, so...
Other names that you don't like as much before we start, becoming positive and like liking names and stuff.
I at one point I suggested glaciers.
Oh.
And then I was reminded that glaciers move really slowly and are maybe therefore not the best name for a hockey team.
That'll be so funny.
It's supposed to be about...
It's an ice surface.
It is
certainly.
It is an ice surface, but it's supposed to be hockey's about speed and it's about skating fast.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Scoring, and then the glacier just creeps along.
Although I do think it'd be really funny if we started off as like grit and skill kind of team, like we punch people, but like we're not very fast. I think then the glaciers would be appropriate.
I want to be a fast team.
I know, me too. I'm just saying. It depends on what kind of team we end up actually seeing on the ice. It
exactly.
Could, not that I want it to be very appropriate, but it could be. So we just talked about names that we don't like as much.
Yeah.
So
now we're gonna talk about names that we do like.
Yeah!
Heading a more positive direction now.
Names that also that there are more of.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there are more names we like than names we don't like, which is honestly good.
Like, we were doomering at the start of the episode, but to be honest, I would be happy with a lot of names, and these are them. So, starting with two names in particular that I want to talk about that kind of harken back to our women's hockey past in the city. Mm-hmm. We have the Griffins and the Amazons. So obviously the Griffins come from the National Women's Hockey League team that lasted from 2000 to 2003, I believe. So not very many seasons. They played in New West. I think they played actually in Queen's Park in New Westminster. So not quite in the city, but in the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, this was a previous NWHL from the one that you may know that became the PHF. This
Yes.
is like the precursor to the CWHL.
Yeah, so,
as far as I know.
Yeah, a few steps back in time in terms of leagues.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, they were the Griffins.
They were the Griffins, and just on like name value alone, I think it's a great name.
Yeah, you said that Cami Granado played for them to me just now.
Yeah.
Off camera.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
That is really cool.
Cami Granado is currently assistant general manager with the Canucks. Yeah. So she is still in the city.
I know. And that would be pretty cool, if they revived the Griffin's name and she'd be able to, be like, I was a Griffin. Anyway.
Ceremonial puck drop.
Yeah, I can imagine it all.
Sort of Jersey scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, that would introduce, interesting questions on, would you bring back the jerseys as well? With the branding? What would you do? Revamp the branding, obviously, because we have a different color palette,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the league, again, will not do this. I think the PWHL has pretty much consistently been, we are,
stepping away,
Yeah, not stepping forward, maybe, from the previous women's leagues and stuff. They don't seem to want to have any sort of real branding ties to previous women's teams.
Yeah, but that's why...
some of those old brandings were so good.
I know. But that's why I wanted to bring them up first, just, names we would really like. I would really like for there to be, that connection to the past. But it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Including with the Amazons. The Amazons is special because we're going, all the way back in time. Why don't you talk about the Amazons a bit?
Yeah, the Amazons were a women's team founded in 1921. They played downtown in the Denman Arena, which sadly burned down in the 1930s. But it was a very large arena at the time. And the Amazons were actually basically formed by a bunch of teenage girls from our old high school.
Yes, which is really cool. I remember when I learned about the Amazons for the first time, I remember I was so happy. It really, that's, partly why I'm such a huge PWHL Vancouver fan as well, without even having seen them on the ice, is because of that connection. So,
exactly, yeah. So shout out King George, by the way, secondary
literally.
school. So a lot of them came from King George, where we also went, and that was one of my first connections to women's hockey, actually.
Yeah.
When I was down in the old archives of our high school, and one of the old archive kind of managers there was really excited to tell us about the women's hockey team that used to play.
Yeah. Really cool. Yeah, obviously name awesome as well.
Yeah,
again, I really love it. There are only two problems. One of the problems is obviously that it seems like the league is not interested in going back to past names, as we've said, and also that it shares a name with a large corporation that you may be aware of. Yeah. And so that's another thing where if you type in Vancouver Amazons, you will either get references to the previous team, or, like to Amazon locations in Vancouver, Amazon warehouses, I don't know. So it might be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like also the kind of company that you might not want to promote as much. I certainly wouldn't be super thrilled. Yeah. Another issue is that the company owns the naming rights to Seattle's arena. Now, they haven't named Seattle's arena, like Amazon Arena or whatever. It's called Climate Pledge, which is so funny. But yeah, there is a little bit, might be a little bit of an issue there if you have the same name as the Seattle Arena's naming sponsor.
Yeah, especially because if they eventually end up deciding to change the name to the Amazon Arena, something like that, in the future, who knows? Arenas change names a lot.
Yeah.
I think Climate Pledge is good for now. That's good. Then it would be like, the Vancouver Amazons are playing at the Amazon Arena. It was just...
Of Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, it just...
yeah. I know, I will say, I have always loved the Vancouver Amazons, the original Vancouver Amazons, and there is kind of a part of me that would like to have that legacy kind of just remain with that team.
Yes, that's true.
And those players back then. I think it would be nice if, the team were to be honored in some way. It has been a long time since they played.
Yeah. Basically 100 years.
Basically 100 years.
Yeah.
But, I feel like, it would be cool to bring that back, but I think it would be cool if PWHL Vancouver had its own thing as well.
I know. There are competing impulses there. Again, I would love the name, but it would be cool to honor the history, but also let it remain history. I understand the impulses there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a KG student, King George, I will always be very proud of the Amazons.
Exactly. Yeah. So, names that we want to talk about next that we like, that aren't, from the past. Current names. Punch 'em in your face names. Okay.
This is not a very punch 'em in your face name, but earlier you put a pin in the Vancouver Fog.
Oh, yes. Well, that's for one very simple reason, and that's because the London Fog, the beverage, was created in Vancouver.
Exactly.
And I am a great devotee of the London Fog. It's my favorite drink. Lower drop.
We do love a London Fog.
We do love a London Fog.
Yeah.
Many of my friends love a London Fog. It's iconic to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And so I think becoming the Vancouver Fog would be very funny because it would harken back to that and situate the London Fog, the drink, firmly where it was created.
You know what would be even funnier, though?
Yeah.
The Vancouver London Fog.
Yes, but it would be confusing.
It would be hilarious.
But it would be confusing. They'd be like, are you playing on Southwestern Ontario? It'd be like, no, we're not playing in Southwestern Ontario. The London, Ontario.
You don't need to explain that to me.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Anyway, also, fog is also not very...
Yeah, we don't get a lot of fog.
Fog is cool. It's mysterious. It can be creepy. But Vancouver isn't really known for the fog that arises.
Although, to be fair, remember the opening video, the promotional video that they released for Vancouver, the PWHL Vancouver team. It included fog. There was a lot of fog in the video. There's these foggy, trees and peaks and everything. And I was like, oh, Vancouver fog, why not? Yeah. Anyway.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, maybe we just cracked it. Or maybe with the fog.
Maybe, yeah. I would be upset about it. It'd be fun.
The blue fog or something.
Do we need to include it? No, just the fog.
I love colors.
Okay, fine. The green fog. No, we can't do the green fog. That'll be Seattle, okay? Or Boston. Anyway, I'm losing the plot here. Let's move on.
Yeah. Love Fog is kind of a joke option.
Yes.
Probably not going to actually roll with it. I was also going to suggest maybe the Vancouver Fire. Also an issue there because, Vancouver had an actual fire that is usually called the Vancouver Fire, but it'd be kind of cool. Portland's WNBA expansion team's name was just announced. It's the Portland Fire.
Yeah. So they are actually harkening back to a past team that,
They are?
They are, yeah. I think
wow.
the first team that Portland had was called the Fire. Of course, I don't know the specifics.
Basketball team.
Yeah, basketball team.
Yeah.
women's basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the early WNBA days.
That is sick.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Griffins. If we decide to go that route, we'd be following the same path as the Portland Fire. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're not going to do Vancouver Fire, same as why we're not going to do Vancouver Valkyries.
Yeah.
The WNBA is much cooler than us and have already beaten us to the punch or whatever.
Yeah, so many times. Anyway, it's fine.
I love WNBA names, honestly.
Yeah, they're so fun.
A lot of them are really, really solid. Yeah, and I think if the PWHL was able to have some names as good as those, I would be pretty happy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out the Toronto Tempo.
Yes!
They have great branding.
Okay, diversion, but I'm really excited. I'm going to be watching that game when they start next season. Yeah, the first game I'll be sitting there going like, that's my team. Let's go, Toronto!
I have always bled Tempo colors.
Always. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so that was the Fire. We're not rolling with the Fire because the WNBA is cooler and took it from us.
Yes.
And then there's also another one, which I've seen a lot. This is also kind of another maybe half-joke one. It's the Vancouver Riot. This is also kind of another Canucks-related one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for many reasons, the team will not be called the Vancouver Riot, but I am in love with it.
Me too.
Even so.
Me too. Like, we're gonna be a riot on the ice. It's gonna be a riot to have this team in the city.
Yeah.
You know?
It's gonna be a riot in the stands. A fun riot. A party riot, not a punching riot.
Yeah. It's gonna be a laugh riot because we're gonna be having fun. Yeah. We're not gonna be a laughing stock.
No. It's gonna be a laugh riot.
Yeah.
To see the team.
Yeah.
To watch the team, and to party after games.
Who knows? We've had a Grey Cup riot in the 60s. We've had 2 Canucks riots. What happens if we end up with us, sorry, I know I'm prognosticating greatness again, winning the championship, and we finally get to riot because we won?
Ah! You're right!
Can you imagine?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just like a happy riot. Not a super destructive riot, but we're like rioting because we're so happy.
Yeah, like we bring swinging around lampposts and stuff.
We were bringing pinatas and like killing pinatas or whatever.
I don't know. Exactly! Why not?
I'm trying to think of ways like destroy things that wouldn't be like actually injurious to actual like infrastructure.
I know, but it would be great. The name would not work, but it's very fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
So we're going to mention it.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to get super attached to it, but it would be great.
Yeah.
It's kind of in this phase where everything is open and nothing is decided yet. Yeah. It's wonderful to dream.
It is.
You know, someday that we could be the Vancouver.
Someday.
Okay. Now, names, other names, more names.
More names!
Okay, so we each had a list, actually.
Yeah, we do actually have a list. We've actually gone through a lot of mine.
Yeah. Are there any ones that you want to talk about? Like a name that you would like?
Okay, well, there's one name which I think would be good, but also it wouldn't work for a number of reasons. That's most of what we've been talking about. Names we like, but that are also bad. And that's, like, the Cougars. Because on one hand, it's like, you know what, they're great. They're in BC. It's a great symbol of BC. But also, unfortunately, there's a connotation with women and Cougars that I don't think I need to spell out. And also, there's, like, a hockey team in BC called the Prince George Cougars.
Yeah,
a bunch of teenage boys running around on the ice.
We do love the Cougars.
We do love the Cougars. Yeah. Shout out the Cougars.
Prince George Cougars. Big fans. Yeah, that's why we're not going to the Vancouver Cougars.
Yeah.
As cool as that sounds, actually.
I know, Vancouver Cougars. Like, that's why I love it. Yeah. That's why it wouldn't work. Yeah. You know?
Oh, you know, another name kind of in that vein, actually. Same sort of sound, same kind of animal meaning is the Vancouver Caribou.
Oh, that's interesting. See, I don't really associate caribou with Vancouver.
That is kind of an issue. It's basically my only issue with the name. Otherwise, I really like how it sounds.
Me too.
Vancouver Caribou,
but also,
kind of flows.
Like, what kind of associations would that bring up? Like, would it be like, hockey, let's go? Yeah. Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, I don't know, like gently eating grass, gently eating moss.
See, I just love animal names.
Me
and
too,
I just think, because I just like the animals, and then it comes down to, like, actually, wait, would this make sense with the hockey team?
Yeah.
Like, we could make it work, the Caribou.
But also, it seems that of course, we've only named 6 teams, but it seems as if the PWHL is not all that keen on animal names.
No.
We like things a little bit more abstract.
That's something we haven't talked about yet, which is kind of the naming trends that have already appeared in the PWHL, and one of my major pet peeves that a lot of people share, which is singular abstract nouns.
The Charge. We love the Charge.
I do love the Charge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like, names like, you know, that
Fleet's good, actually,
Fleet's
for
good.
Boston.
I think,
Fleet's
honestly,
good.
The PWHL has done a pretty decent job of their singular names, their singular noun names.
But as an overall trend,
I'm not in love with it. Same. That's honestly why I don't like the coast and the rain that much.
Singular.
It's just like a singular kind of thing, and a hockey team is not a singular entity. It's made up of multiple parts, multiple people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a team sport, and I don't think you have to completely shy away from that.
I know. No, you're right.
You know, there are multiple people out there.
Yeah. Although one thing I've noticed is that they've also carefully, so far, balanced singular and plural nouns for team names. So I'm thinking maybe Seattle gets one or the other, and we get the other one.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, I don't want to... There are probably Seattle fans who also would like a plural name, so I don't want to piss them off. But
of course, there could also be Seattle fans who really want a singular name.
I don't think either fandom is a monolith on either one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would prefer a plural name, but again, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like...
If we get called the Cougars or something, I'd be like, no, please have some other singular name. I would take a singular name over being called the Cougars.
Yeah. Cool I mentioned Cougars as a name I like.
Well, just because of the connotations.
I know. That, again, we're not going to spell it out, but I'm sure you can imagine.
Sorry, I just wiggled the camera.
That's fine. I also just wiggled the camera. Yeah. Okay.
There is another name that I kind of like, which I know they probably won't do, but it's Vancouver Rumble. It is a singular noun.
Yes.
See, I don't hate all of them.
Yes, good for you.
Vancouver Rumble, what do you think?
Oh, it's interesting. Did you mention the street?
Oh yeah, so there's a street in Vancouver called Rumble, not in Vancouver, in Burnaby, called Rumble Street, which is, we've driven down it multiple times as children. I always thought it was kind of cool. Rumble Street. Yeah. Again, this one has connotations of... If you've ever read The Outsiders, you know what a rumble is.
Like a rock'em sock'em kind of name.
Exactly, yeah. A bunch of people get together and fight, which is, you know, hockey team-wise, kind of cool. If you want, like a kind of tough, gritty team, you know, rumble. It's also a sound.
Yeah.
You know, a rumble. It could be like the rumble of the crowd, you know. Yeah, the tension, the excitement, the rumble, you know.
Yeah.
So I think there's potential there.
I like it.
And I just like saying it, the Vancouver Rumble.
Vancouver Rumble.
Yeah. So it does have a little connection. It has a kind of thing. And like,
yeah. Like, I don't think we're going to do it, but if we did, I'll be happy.
Yeah. See, I was just able to list reasons why I think it could work.
Exactly.
So if you can do that, you can honestly put anything on that little, like, explainer thing, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
You know, teams always do that. They have to explain what they're doing. I just did, so consider it.
Yeah. League, are you listening?
We know you're out there.
Okay. Yeah. So that's, like, a lot of names that, like, we're getting into names we actually really like. I would really want to use.
Like, I would lay down for the Rumble.
Yeah. So how would we do the names that were, like, we starred? Like, yes, let's do these.
Yeah, names we, like, really kind of love.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Hit us. Start us off.
Last October, when PWHL Vancouver was not even a thing in my imagination yet, it was in my dreams but not in my reality, I was coming up with branding name ideas with our dad, and we decided that a really, really cool team would be the Vancouver Flying V's.
Oh, yeah.
Inspired... Okay, Vancouver obviously has a lot of geese. Canada geese. What's notable is that our Canada geese don't fly south in the winter, because Vancouver's kind of balmy relative to the rest of Canada. We have our own local subspecies of goose called Moffat's geese, and they just live here year-round. You know, defecating in our parks and looking cute. So...
Do not pitch the name by mentioning goose poop. Rolling on, we never heard that. Continue.
Yeah, well, they are just an omnipresent part of the city.
Yeah.
You see their flying V formations in the sky all the time. And obviously, a V, Vancouver,
you
know, a flying V, there are a lot of branding opportunities there.
Yeah.
I just love it. The way that I would spell V's is capital V-E-E-S.
Yes.
So like V's. Unfortunately, that would step on the Penticton V's a little bit. An iconic junior boys hockey team in Penticton, British Columbia. But I think Flying V's is cooler than that. So
yes.
Vancouver started as V's.
They were named after types of peaches, okay? Being named after geese is fine.
Yeah, geese are cooler.
Yeah.
Geese kind of are cute. They squawky when they get mad. But
we have nice geese.
We do have nice geese here, actually. I've heard that geese in other parts of Canada are violent and evil. Ours are polite, but are still kind of willing to throw down. I think, honestly...
That's a good metaphor for our team, I think. Geese.
I think you can really get inspired by thinking about geese.
Yeah.
I love geese. Can you tell? I'm talking so fast.
I know,
talking about my favorite species of goose.
I'm going to do an anecdote now.
Okay.
When we went to the Takeover Tour game, because we went to the Takeover Tour game in January, the Canucks ringside reporter, Olivia, asked me for an interview, and she interviewed me in front of a camera. I don't think the interview ever went anywhere, but she asked me if I had any thoughts about the name, and the only name that came to mind, so I said it probably on live television, I don't know if that interview went anywhere, but I said it to her, was the Flying V's. So, in some random Canucks archive, there is already that name out there. Might have planted a seed. Just saying.
Yep. Who knows where that little clip went?
Yeah.
Maybe it's in Jana Hefford's computer.
Exactly.
We will never know.
Maybe she's like, the people want this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am just... It's been in my mind since last October.
Yeah.
So I'm most emotionally attached to it. I know that I haven't seen this suggested anywhere else.
Yeah, because it's very unique.
Yeah, no one else wants to name the team the Flying V's.
Yeah. No one else really wants to have, like, a team name that has two parts.
Exactly. That is another thing. Yeah, PWHL has not done that yet.
But I think it would be cool.
It also has a bit of a vintage flair.
It has a Maple Leafs flair.
You know,
we already were mean to them.
It has a Red Wings flair.
Yeah.
It has a two-parter kind of vintage kind of Flying V's kind of flair.
I know, and I like that.
I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I'd be very happy with it, in conclusion.
Yeah, it would just pay homage to one of our most iconic birds.
And you know what? No matter what we end up doing, I will probably end up just colloquially referring to the team as Vancouver Flying V's anyway. So, yeah.
I just think, the options for a good logo are also immense, I would say.
Geese.
Exactly. You could do some really...
sorry, right in front of your face.
Okay. You could do some really cool things with a sort of a V flying sort of logo.
Yeah.
Also, another association with Flying V's is the Canucks 80s jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Those are called the Flying V jerseys. Again, if you might not want to lean into the Canucks too much, but that's just kind of a sideways reference. It doesn't have to mean that.
Yeah.
But it could just be kind of a nod to previous... hockey history. Some people hate those jerseys. I personally love them. So
again, I think it's a kind of a joke. It's kind of a name that pokes fun at itself in a couple ways, which I think is also important.
Exactly.
Like a name that is too self-serious, I don't like as much as a name that kind of is a little bit fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, moving on with that kind of theme, kind of poking fun at yourself, don't take yourself too seriously, but, like a fun name, is something else that we really, really love, and a lot of, our family really likes this, our parents, some people that we've talked to.
It's been peer-reviewed.
Yes. I've also seen it mentioned a couple times on the internet by independent people who are not me.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
It is... the Vancouver Specials!
Yeah! I love this name, by the way. I have peer-reviewed this name.
Yeah. If you're a Vancouverite, or from the area, you know what a Vancouver Special is.
Yes.
It's a type of house that was more or less kind of mass-built in the 60s.
Yeah, in the city and around...
In the city. They're pretty iconic. You know one as soon as you see one.
Yes.
And it's really kind of this unique kind of architectural style for Vancouver.
Yeah.
And they're called the Vancouver Special.
Yeah.
Because they're, special to Vancouver. It kind of is a little bit of a mocking name in a way.
It is, yeah.
You can take it and you can wear it with pride, honestly.
I know.
And honestly, I love those houses.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I'm just like, you know what? On one hand, if you don't know about the Vancouver Special, the house, you might think, oh, the Vancouver Specials, why do they think they're so special? Blah, blah, blah. But it's not honestly any worse than the Montreal Victoire.
No, I
At least if the Victoire lose, when the Victoire lose, it's kind of a joke. But if the Specials lose, it's like, oh, they lost specially. Like, we lost, 11-zip, whatever. That's special. There are ways for it to work no matter how good or how bad we are. Just,
Exactly, yeah. I think it's a fun name. We are special, damn it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has a very local connection.
Yeah.
And, one that, people will know and will recognize and will think is funny, I think.
Yeah. And I just genuinely love it. In fact, of all the names we've talked about, it's not going to be the one that's chosen for a variety of reasons. I don't really think they want to lean into jokes so much. I think that this is honestly the name I would be the happiest if we were the Vancouver Specials.
Yeah, it flows really well too.
Yeah,
just saying it, the Vancouver Specials.
It rolls really well.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
yeah. And it would be amazing to be called the Vancouver Specials.
I know.
We are a special team.
Yeah, we so are.
I believe it.
Oh my God. Also, honestly, it's just on my mind because as of right now when we are recording this, Sarah Nurse, Jen Gardner, and Kirsten Campbell, we're all in the city today.
Yeah.
You know, on the Aqua Bus.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking, oh, our team is so special.
Driven around Falls Creek.
Yeah.
Which is right in our neighborhood too. Kind of, we were also kind of walking around that area today, so maybe we saw them in the little Aqua Bus.
Oh my God, we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. So it's just really great. I'm like, we are so special. I love the team. I love the team already.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we've pretty much exhausted our name options.
Yes.
Like, that we two have had.
That basically covers all the ones I've seen, like, popularly floated around on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
If you have, like, really great name suggestions, like, please tell us.
Yeah.
The more, the better.
I know there are a lot that have been suggested, and I know everyone has ideas and things like that. These are just kind of the ones that we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
Something else that I kind of wanted to bring up is the fact that it would be really, really cool if we got to have some sort of community input into the name.
Yes, definitely. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
It would be really cool if we, maybe there was, names were pre-selected and we were able to kind of vote for that, like the Utah Mammoth just did. Mm-hmm. Or if it was some kind of write in your name and then we'll, do something with that.
Yeah.
I think it's always kind of special when you can kind of really appeal to a market by, asking for the name, which is one of the most important things you can have as a team.
Genuinely,
yeah.
Again, they might not, go for all the suggestions, but I know that I was asked for a suggestion all the way back in January. So, that's pretty cool. Again, who knows what happened to that clip, but, it's out there.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, looking at PWHL precedent, they didn't do that for the original 6 teams when their names were chosen.
But I would really like that for us and for Seattle.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think Seattle also deserves an absolute banger name. We're going to have some great rivalries if we both have great names. So, yeah.
I think one thing I'm a little bit worried about, if we get that kind of community input, which I don't think we will based on precedent, but if we do, I'm a little bit worried that fans of other teams will use this as further fodder to get mad at us.
No, that's we're not allowing any doom.
No doom.
Yeah, no doom. That's not happening.
It's like, not only do we have some really sick players who used to have other logos on their chests, but now the fans get to pick a new name that they want.
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
That's not going to happen. No matter what, we're going to end up with a name that I think we can all rally around.
I think
so.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope so. I mean, it happened with the names we thought sucked ended up being really embraced in this league already. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Charge. Now I'm a huge fan of the Charge.
Yes.
Name and logo included. I genuinely love them.
Yes. Also, one last name suggestion. I'm just going to put it out here. My roommate, Teo, shout out Teo, he wants the team to be named the Vancouver Murder.
Like the Crows.
Like the Crows. I'm going to leave us with that.
Wait, I have another idea. We talked about the Orcas.
Yeah?
The Vancouver Killers. Murder the Killers.
The Vancouver Killer Murderers. All right.
So doom, so gloom.
Perfect. Great way to end off. Thank you so much, everyone.
Please, leave us your hot takes, your name ideas, all that good stuff. Talking about names, we could literally do this for hours.
Yeah,
and it's been so much fun to talk about it, and you all have your own ideas, so
I know.
Keep them coming.
It's gonna be great. We could have 10 billion names. Maybe we will. Who knows? Bye!
Bye!